Hey guys, G and I just wanted to take some time to come on here and talk about the really horrible thing that happened yesterday, August 27th, 2025. I'm talking about the mass shooting that happened at a private Catholic church and school during their first week of school while these children were praying, and a shooter came in and opened fired on them, and 2 children died and 17 others were wounded.
As of right now, there is no suspect because the shooter committed suicide, and there is no political affiliation with anything that has happened as of right now. All the news has given us is his manifestos that were kind of idolizing past mass shooters, and then also a lot of anti-Christian Catholic beliefs.
Yeah. And so, if you guys didn't know, Jan and I grew up in private school our entire lives. Our entire education has been in private school. And we've been very fortunate to have that. But when we heard the news, it was pretty shocking to Jan and I. We've been out of college for about 3 years now, but ever since we were 6, we've attended private Catholic school. And we kind of grew up in this community and thinking it may be naive of us now that we think back on it. But there's a stereotype that private schools is supposed to be more safe for children when they're in their education compared to public schools.
Yeah.
And you can ask any private school kid that, and I think a lot of us think the same way, where it's like, that would never happen at our school.
Yeah.
Specifically talking about the Seattle private schools here, safety is a pretty big thing there. You wouldn't consider someone would come into your church when you're praying and shoot you.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah. And that's just coming from the sides of us as students who grew up in the Catholic private school, is that a lot of us are just naive to ever think that, like, oh, why would there be a fight in the cafeteria? Why would someone bring a knife to school? Like, that was never something that was ever in the back of my mind during my education, ever.
No, literally
Or
never.
like, oh, a friend of mine hides something in his locker, or locker checks, or police men at, like,
security
in their suit outside our school. That was never a thought. And so to hear that it is the mass shootings, this isn't the first one at a school ever, but it is the first one of the private Catholic school, which makes it even more close to home because it's so weird when it finally, like, touches you.
And it's so close to you, kind of. I know, like, we weren't personally affected by it, but I feel like anyone who grew up in the private school system, it was a shock that this happened. And I think it's genuinely because we have been told consistently, and at least our generation, like you just mentioned, drugs, weapons, none of that is shown in private school for us. Like, it wasn't common for people to come to school with those things, whereas we have now friends that attended public
schools.
And when we talk about our, like, background and differences between the schools, they always say, oh yeah, like, drugs, cops, weapons, gangs, fights break out so easily and so common in public school, and we're just like, yeah, that would never happen here at our private school. I know schools probably have changed by now after we've been out for a while,
and it just shows the vast difference, especially, like, being sheltered versus, like, a lot of public schools. You also have to take into consideration the different minorities and population that go to those schools. So obviously private Catholic schools are very much protected and naive kids.
And predominantly white.
Yes.
And so it is naive of us as well, but I also think it's just because it never was in our environment.
Yeah.
It was never something we had to deal with. It was never something that we had to consider. It probably has changed a lot more due to the more school shootings, that the schools have to be more prepared about it.
Exactly.
But I think that's just with the times again.
Yeah.
It's becoming, I hate to say more popular, but it is.
And that's just another reason to show that, like, not everyone's safe. No one is safe, especially now, especially sending your kids, and it's the beginning of the school year. Like, how does that not scare mothers and just parents in general? You know?
It does.
And so this has just really opened up more to, you're not safe.
No matter where you go and attend school. But yeah, that's all that G and I wanted to come on here and talk about, was just how shocking and alarming it was to hear that the first Catholic school shooting happened in Minneapolis just yesterday. Yeah, it was just shocking, and obviously we wanted to talk about it on here with all of you just because we did grow up in this community and in this environment, and it's very strange to see such tragedy that hits it.
Yeah. And if you also are from a private Catholic school and you've attended it and you know the difference between a public and a private, if you have your own comments on this, let us know down in the chat down below, because I know we're not the only private school kids that have been raised through the Catholic Church, and also probably have been also naive and thought like this would never come to us or we would never experience it. So let us know if you also are relatable in that feeling as well, or that could just be where May and I grew up. We are in Seattle, Washington, and
it was just never a thought.
Just was never a thought. Yeah. But that's all we wanted to say. That was our reaction to the news. And let us know what you guys think. In the end of the day, it's pretty horrible that this happened at the beginning of a school year.
And nonetheless to children.
And nonetheless elementary school kids that were just in a mass praying. Probably very excited to start the school year too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all we had to say. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like always, be kind to others and happy yourselves. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.